sure if I should hum, sing, talk, whatever. But the music, for the first time in a long time, is freaking loud in here. And it is warm. I don't know if the AC's busted or it's just me running super hot. It's actually hot. It is, what is it? It is, well, the automobile, when I pulled into the parking garage, was 99.2. So, for all intents and purposes, it's 100 degrees today. Ugh. Let me do some hellos. Woo, I think I need some water first. I brought me a bottle of water. Oh, and we gotta thank Maria Ann for the 10 Bananarama pre-game super chat. Thank you very much. Jim Wolf, Janice, Mary, Phil, what's going on? Dave Prezi. Hey, what happened 4 years ago? You used to get thousands of views. Not much. Well, I haven't really been active, you know. I mean, since the beginning of the year, I've only been doing like 1 or 2 videos a month. So that'll happen. But I'm here now, and so are you. Let's see. Venus, BCDC, Alan, what's happening? Kyle, Kevin Hawthorne. I dig watching your videos. Shout out Lakeland, Florida. I like when people tell me where they're at. Mark, member for 52 months. I think you are the oldest member. Not in age, just chronologically. I think you are the oldest member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Chanel Fischel. Tom Lars. You got a call coming your way tomorrow, bro. I got to touch base with you. Jody, how are you? I am doing good. I'm hot, but I'm doing good. Sony, Helen Cowie, Christopher C, Val Marie, Zach from warm Minnesota. Is it warm in Minnesota? Shit, it's probably nicer than it is here. I'll tell you what. It's hot and muggy in Florida too, down by you. I get it. Jamie, how are you? Jesus, Kathleen. Keep them coming. I'll shout everyone out. Lori, yep, long time no see. I plan on being a little more active now. I got some of my dust settling, so yeah. What's the weather like in Vegas? I was just saying, when I parked tonight, the car said it was 99.1. So I think it broke 100 at some point. Last week was gorgeous. I mean, just absolute we had a week of perfect weather. It was like between 72 and 75 almost the entire week, in the high 60s to mid 60s at night, and then back to the hundreds. Ugh. Supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, but they say it's supposed to go back down into the 70s next week. So who frickin' knows what's going on? The sun is broken. I'm reading. Nancy, how are you? Dan, what up? Venus with the 10 Bananaramas. And Jim, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Super chats go towards, coffee, obviously, and parking, which is getting out of freaking control as of late. Yeah, there's still cloud seed. And I heard Florida passed a law about, it's illegal now to cloud seed. I mean, they gotta know, right? Every flight that goes up in American airspace gets tracked. They have to have a flight plan, ground clearance, tail numbers, the whole shit. So the fact that they're like, oh, mysteriously, we don't know who to go after. They can just keep the flights from frickin' taking off if they wanted to. Oh, it's illegal. Okay. Ridiculous. Anyway, enough staring at the ceiling. Let's stare at coffee. Should we zoom in on coffee? Yeah. Let's zoom in on the ambiance of the coffee. Oh, it's cloudy looking. Cloudy with a chance of caffeine. Bro, we all know you're hot. Ooh, I'm going to take that as a compliment. Don't mind if I do. Thank you very much. Ooh, let me not make you dizzy. Alright, let's zoom the F back out. Thank you very much. That made my day. Guys love compliments. I don't care what anyone says. And Mary, sliding over that Venmo. Thank you very much. Venmo is a great alternative if you choose to go in that direction. They actually, I guess people twisted their onions enough to get them to get some artificial sweetener. But by the looks of it, what does that say? Come on, zoom, focus, do your thing. Shamrock Foods, wow, I need a manicure. Shamrock Foods, they might have gotten it for free by the looks of that. But let's check out what it is. It says dextrose, dextrose, which is a form of sugar, but not too potent. Stevia and natural flavor. I don't know what the frickin' natural flavor is. I guess we're gonna find out together. Woo! I am warm. I'm hot. That's what she said. Alright, let's get this. This is probably cold already. I've been sitting on it for a few minutes. I got things to talk about. Oop, I made a mess. I got things to talk about it. I got my cop pad out and I took notes and stuff. That actually makes people nervous, which is weird. Like when I whip out my, tell me a version of the story. When I whip that out, I don't know why people get nervous around me, but I like it. I like when people get nervous around me, especially women, but guys too. All right, so let's do some stirries in there. Let's see if we can make a freaking barista animal. What do we got here? I don't know, what does that look like? You know what I found today? In the house of all places, I found a wolf spider. That just looked like a wolf spider. That's why I'm mentioning it. I found a freaking wolf spider in the house. Them things will jack you up, and they are fast. They are fast AF. But yeah, I got a wolf spider dangling. Oh shit, dangling around my house. I don't know what he's got to eat, except me. I don't really eat in my place. I mean, bug-wise, I ain't got no bugs. What do we got? 86 people? Oh, considering it's a little late. Thomas Helm, what's up, brother? It was great seeing you. No, I try to kill it because a wolf spider. You ever watch those YouTube videos where they put insects, like in a fish tank, and they let them fight it out? Like they'll put a praying mantis and a dung beetle, and they'll put a scorpion and a praying mantis. They'll put a wolf spider and another type of spider, and then they'll just battle to the death. I mean, I don't think I'm the only person who watches that. But wolf spiders are messed up. They will jack you up, and they are fast. Fast AF. Alright. Let me refire up chat, because I already got a stupid commercial. Stupid commercial. Tom one-upped. Member for 53 months. 53 months. That's unbelievable. That is unfreaking believable. Alright, let's check out this coffee. Never mind wolf spiders. It has been a while. Great to see you. That was awesome seeing everyone. We're going to talk about the get-together. In case a lot of you did not know, we did Broad Nation Get Together 2025 last week, and it's hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe it's been a week already. Wow, that went stupid fast. And I miss everyone, but we'll talk about that too. We got some stuff to talk about. But first, before I do any talking, I'm always more fun when I'm caffeinated. Some people require alcohol, I don't require it. I'm just in more fun caffeinated. No, these are weak. I'm gonna put 3 of them in there. I'm just more, rambunctious when I'm thoroughly caffeinated. There's not a lot of people in town. I guess they got the memo that it was gonna be a friggin' 150. In case you didn't know, I do not like the hot weather. But Bror Fredrik, you live in the desert. we got to live with our choices sometimes. We all have to live with our choices, but it sucks. Summer is an asshole. But I gotta say, this year, like most year, has gone pretty good. What was it? I think the weather broke in maybe around Halloween. It stopped going over the 90s. So we've had November, I'll do it on my fingers, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Almost 7 months of decent weather. That's pretty damn good. That, I can't say. Oh yeah, I'm reading comments on the screen. Who is it? Me, Tom Helm, Tom Lars, and Janice walked into one of the high-end watch spots over at the Wynn, and we went and looked at a $500,000 watch. It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. I mean, I'd buy it if I was crazy. But yeah, it was $500,000 watch, and a bunch that were like, what did we see? A couple of 300, a couple of $250,000, whatever. Or like, you know, Couture. I mean, there was one over in, we didn't see it there, but in the Forum shop that's actually, the time is a roulette wheel, and it's functional and everything. I'm a horologist, I'll admit it, but, you know, I mean, I'd have to have, okay, what would it take for me to spend $500,000 on a freaking watch, besides security? I'd have to be a billionaire. Maybe. It's a ratio, you know? I stick with what I got. I don't, you know, brand names and all that other shit. You know, it's nice and everything, but $500,000 for a watch. But it probably took the guy, he probably went insane. If you looked at the detail, if you've ever seen one of those watch videos where they explode a watch and they show you the things and you got to use like a 300-to-1 loop and tiny tweezers, and me, I would probably go insane. Like, I'm not like insane, like insane asylum, padded room level crazy. I mean, you're talking about picking up a part that you can barely see with the naked eye, placing it on top of another part that's half the size of that. I would literally lose my freaking mind. Yeah, Janice says, who's ready for 2026? I am. Got some good sun at MGM Grand, says Alan. How's the signal there? Maybe I should log on to Wi-Fi on this phone too. Do I prefer Truvia? No. I prefer, I mean, if anything, I mean, I used to, but I like sucralose, and people, because as long as it's not aspartame will F you up. Sucralose is like, you know, it is what it is. Stephen J with the 10, helping out with the expenses. I always enjoy meeting you, both of you too. We had all the meets. Let's talk about that for a second. So I'm going to say thank yous there. Let's go to my handy dandy cop notebook. But first, I'm going to invite people who aren't already subscribed to like this. I haven't done it in so long. I used to whip this out in my sleep. I'm going to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least one time a week. Soon to increase, so hold tight. And if you don't mind, you can hit the like and you can do all the stuff. And I do got some links down there in the description, and that helps the channel too. Except I removed my Amazon links because they can go eat a bag. Like they could eat 2 or 3 bags of these. Freaking out. AWS, I love you. Amazon division. Sit on it and rotate. Not this. A broken bottle. It's warm. It's like lukewarm. Yeah, aspartame causes stomach tumors. That does not surprise me. That is a chemical. Erythritol is a chemical too. Erythritol is the sweetest of them all. You know, that actually tastes like sugar, but that shit F's my stomach up. Erythritol. You hear how loud that is? Oh my God. Yeah, erythritol. Like within 5 minutes, my stomach is grumbling like like if I ate a porcupine or something, one of them itchy balls. You know, remember we used to call them when we was kids? We used to call them itchy balls. I don't know what the name is. Itchy balls, we used to call them. They were like round balls with the spikes all over it. And like when we got older, we used to put them in a slingshot and they could actually stick into someone. We used to call them itchy balls. Or we used to get like tennis rackets and whale them at each other. If you didn't do that, you kind of had a sucky youth, but you know, whatever. Or dirt bomb fights. You guys ever have dirt bomb fights? You ever get whacked in the head with a dirt bomb? With a rock in it or something? That'll F you up too. What the hell were we talking about? Something else. I don't know. We're talking about more caffeine. Mercedes is here. I don't see Jasmine. Jasmine's usually like all on top of things over here. Mercedes like chilling out over there. But like I'm ready for another one, even though I didn't touch this one. I'm starting to feel it though. You can hear me talking faster, right? Alright, what do we got to talk about? We got to talk about the following. Okay, it was Bror Nation Get Together 2025 last week. I don't think sucralose is bad for you. It is a form of sugar, so people who are like really, I mean, I can't imagine being that. I guess if you have like type 2 diabetes or type 1, what's the real bad one? Type 1 diabetes? Yeah, you probably not want to touch sucralose because it does convert to some form of sugar, but very mild. You might want to stay away from dextrose, which is also a form of sugar, and that's usually in these packets too. But yeah, I mean, Truvia is okay, but you need a lot of it. I mean, you need a lot of it to equal the sweetness of sugar. The only thing I use like Truvia for is like if I bake my peanut butter cookies, it's like half Truvia, half peanut butter, 2 eggs, and a couple of drops of, vanilla extract. You mash it up, you put it on a baking pan with some parchment and whatnot. I mean, they come out great. They come out really, really good. But anyway, yeah, dirt bomb fights, right? You know when you got a dirt clod, when you pull like a weed up by the roots and it has the dirt bomb over here, but then it has like a tail so that you can really you can whip it, get some distance, and the tail on it, the weed tail, sort of stabilizes it, and it get hit upside the head with that and mess you up. That's like a mortar round. You're type 2. So what's the bad? Type 1 is the bad one? Yeah, type 1 is the bad one. Joe, what's going on, brother? 31 months. Great to see you too. And you're very welcome. I told Janice what you're supposed to be using it for. I don't know if she told you or not. I'm not gonna say it out loud. But yeah, I'm glad you gotta have one. You gotta have one. Yeah, type 1 is the bad one. Yeah, maybe if you're type 1, you can't mess with all the loses. If it has a lose on the end, you're pretty jacked up. Except allulose. Allulose, for some reason, I like allulose too. But it has to be mixed with something, you know, like monk fruit and allulose. It's pretty good, but it does, I mean, when you first taste it, when you put it in the coffee, it's fine. It's like, holy cow, that's sugar. But a couple of minutes later, it gives you, for me anyway, it gives you like a little like cotton mouth type of thing going on. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I know. I mean, I try not to. You know what I did the other day? Because I was really craving some sugar. For me to crave sugar, it's kind of a thing now, you know? Because I don't. Milk tastes sweet to me now. I ate like half a chocolate bar, and it was like the best thing ever. I was just like, it was like orgasmic. Well, not really. Let me think. No, it wasn't orgasmic, but it's pretty freaking cool. Bottle rocket fights. Oh, hell yeah. Bottle rocket fight. You'd score a piece of PVC pipe, and if you wanted to do it in teams, you'd get the PVC pipe, and you'd do the aiming, and the dude behind you it'd be like World War II, you know, with the bazooka, where they loaded it in the back, tapped you on the shoulder, you know, they light it, put it in the tube, pat you on the back, like, you know, like Saving Private Ryan and shit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if kids these days have fun anymore. I mean, what do? They sit on the phone? What do kids do? Sit on the phone? They don't do dirt bomb fights. They're not having bottle rocket wars. They're not doing nothing, you know? That's what I was thinking about too. I was gonna go into this whole diatribe of how humanity peaked in the 90s, but we'll see how far we go. See how much coffee I have in me. But dirt bomb fights, snowball fights, you know? Remember like putting together snowballs so freaking heavy, you'd have to throw them sidearm or your shoulder would come out of the socket because they weighed like 5 pounds. I mean, those are the days. Skitching, sledding, I'm thinking winter sports. How about this, handball? Do kids play handball anymore? If it's not like, you know, designated by the school to play handball? Handball was fun. You had American handball, where you had to hit it on one bounce, but you had to hit from your hand to the wall, and then back down the next person. That was like, you had to be the pro, you had to be a little older, and then they had Chinese, I don't know what they call it, Chinese, where you'd hit it down. It would take, you'd have to be one bounce, and then the wall, and you'd play asses up. Am I the only one who played asses up? The loser would have to stand on the wall. I mean, if it was like a 2-man or like however many people was in, we used to go to like off the walls at the public schools because there was brick, or we used to go, like there was racquetball courts all over New York City, you know, it was a thing. So we used to go and play there, and asses up. So whoever lost, it didn't matter how many people, even the spectators, you'd get, you know, the guy would have to stand like it was in a lineup, no, like a pat down. You'd have to stand against the wall and just take it like a freaking man. And everyone would throw the ball as hard as they could. Everyone would get like one turn from the back thing, and he's called asses up. Hey, we'll play asses up, you know, because you could have like 30 or 40 people beating you. I mean, it didn't always have to be your ass, because people would aim for like your hamstring. Oh, that hurts. Or the back of your head. One or the other. So you're getting like 30 balls. You're getting 30 lashes if you lost, you know? I mean, then we all started getting cars and shit, you know, and life went on. But, I mean, am I the only one who lived a life like that? I mean, what do kids do now? Now, I know you guys did. But what the hell do kids do now for fun? What? Minecraft? Is that still a thing? I don't know. Yeah, it was fun. Spitball fights in class. And then you put the pen and the tip back in your big pen and be like, you know, when the teacher looked at you and whatnot, then you plant one in her hair too. Kids are boring now. They sit around like chadruls, you know, doing nothing on their phones. Like, you know, sitting next to you, they're sitting next to each other and they're texting each other. Not that I haven't done that myself, but that's usually like a covert thing. Like, when you're talking to someone over there and you're telling your bro next to you, look at this dumbass. You know? I mean, I've done it. I'm not going to say I haven't, but it's kind of crazy. Alright, let me check out. I thought I saw a fan fundulation. Oh, I didn't thank Stephen J. Let me do the thanking. There we go. Alright, we got some people on. Yeah, it's different these days. You know, what do these kids do? Yeah, no social skills. And I mean, what about calling for people? Do people call for people anymore? The kids? I mean, alright, it's not the safest anymore. I mean, my neighborhood was definitely not the safest by a long shot. But we'd still call for each other, you know? Do people even know what that means anymore? You'd call for them. That means, you know, everyone would freaking roll up to someone's door and be like, yo, come on out. You know, or if your moms or whoever came to the door, they'd be like, yo, is bro home? You know, that was called calling for someone. And then you'd go, you know, you'd go down to like Springfield Park and shit and play handball, you know? I mean, even a handball back there. Having a handball was like, you were the freaking boss. Stupid handball. Yeah. And then you graduate to racquetball. And racquetball is a trip. Those like little friggin' black missiles, you know? And then you'd play asses up with those. But you didn't have to throw them. You had to like tennis ball. Pow! And you get hit with a friggin' racquetball. That'll ruin your day. That'll give you some brain damage. But yeah, that was illegal. You couldn't go for the head if you were playing asses up. But even the chicks would be there. You'd meet all the Ginas, you know? Like every Gina in town would be at the handball court. Every freaking Gina in town. Gina A, Gina B, Gina C, Gina Z, Gina K, Gina G. All the Ginas would be there. And a few Marias. You know? It was just a way to go. Down at the handball court. Yeah. I can't possibly be the only one. But, yeah, okay, I was a city dweller. Some of you guys might have had it like, you know, in the woods, by the creek, or something like that, which is equally cool. Yeah, Nerf gun fights. Wow, that is cool. Nerf, I never got to do that. I never got to do Nerf things. I mean, we used to have like BB gun wars, but like, there was a rule, one pump, and then if you got someone bad, like you just beamed them just right, you know, the next guy go to 2 pumps, then the next guy go to 3 pumps. Next thing you know, you're like taking people's eyes out and everyone will be like, but we knew when to quit. You know, we kind of knew when to stop being assholes after a while. Or, how about this? You fold up the piece of paper and you make a V, right? And then you put it on a rubber band. Or, see, then if you want to really get slick, you put a little sand in the front. And then you do it, because then it flies. And when it hits hard and leaves a welt and whatnot. I mean, it's not like we were trying to hurt each other, but we were. But not really. It was just fun. It was just good, harmless fun. Sometimes we would squat down and hold on to the bumper or floor. Yeah, that's what, yeah. Tom Lawrence, that's what we would call skitching. I don't know if you guys called it skitching too, but skitching was basically a winter sport. You know, you'd jump on a garbage truck, or you wouldn't skitch off of someone's car, because they'd come out and crack you in the head with a bat, you know, in our neighborhoods. But you would skitch off the garbage truck, you would skitch off the city buses and whatnot. Kids got wrecked too. Kids got wrecked doing that. But that was skitching. If there was snow or ice or even water, you could hydroplane a little bit. But it was basically a winter sport. You know, it was the Winter Olympics of skitching. Who could skitch the farthest? But the problem with skitching is you'd be like 10 of you little freaking degenerates are hanging out on a corner, and 2 people or 3 people would grab onto the bus. And if you got a good skitch going, you could be like a mile away and have to walk all the way back. So the ROI, the return on investment, wasn't all that great with skitching. Besides the fact that, you know, you could die and get run over by a bunch of cars, or, you know, some big frickin' sanitation dude and toss you a beating or whatever. But them's were the days, you know? You know, running from 5-0 because, you know, the guy next to you was, you know, had a little roach and whatnot, and, you know, hanging out with the Ginas in the amphitheater that hasn't been used in 30 years over at the park and whatnot, you know? I mean, those were good times. Those were good times. I don't know if people have good times like that anymore. I don't know. Ding dong ditching, and, you know, I mean, we did some dumb shit too. Like, we'd go pumpkin smashing, but not until there's a decorum. You know, when I grew up, we just weren't like vandals and assholes and, you know, whatever. There was a decorum to it. If you had your pumpkin past Halloween, like if it was it would be like the weekend. So if Halloween was on a Thursday, we'd come out on like Friday night, Saturday night, whatever, and we'd go pumpkin smashing. If you saw pumpkins out there, you'd smash them, because they're no good to anyone anyway. They're freaking rotten and stinking and disgusting, but it was fun. You'd go pumpkin smashing. That was the extent of our, you know, of our, like, being assholes as kids, was pumpkin smashing. I mean, we've egged I don't even know these people anymore. Guy I used to do it with, he's gone. Joey Abaxo. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, we used to go like egging people, you know, stuff like that. But it's fun. Yo, you got lucky and Tom, you never smashed your face on a bumper. See, that's the thing too. Besides getting run over, what Tom's saying is, if they would see that you were skitching, you know, what they would do is they wouldn't like fully brake check you, but they'd like pump the brake a little, and that would like force you to like slam your face into the back of the bus or the bumper. Yeah, you can get all sorts of jacked up. Yeah, TPing things and whatever. But some people, they were asking for it. You know, I never TP'd someone who wasn't asking for it. I never egged the house of someone who just straight up wasn't asking for it, you know? I mean, some people might be like, you know, with that. But some people are asking for it, you know? Sometimes you gotta speak to people in a language they understand. Right, Jim Wolf? You know, childhood in New York was pretty cool. I'm sure like rural life was pretty awesome too. What do you guys do in the rural life? You went what, like cow tipping? Cow tipping sounds fun. I don't know if it's a real thing or not. It's sort of like snipe hunting. But cow tipping, I'll go tip a cow. Meet you by the creek, and you know, all the chicks with the, I mean, maybe they're not, what's the most common name in the rural areas? Like if you grew up on a farm or whatnot. Like, because in the city, every one of them was like a Gina. Like, Gina's outnumbered every other every other girl by like 10 to 1. And then you threw in a couple Marias and a couple Marys. Marys were the good girls. The Ginas, yeah, I did degrees of Ginas. Like, they're really like, you know, let's not even go there. Like, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so what was the common ones in there? Like, what were the, but. They probably wore like Daisy Dukes, right? Like Daisy Dukes and tube tops and shit. And like, what? Yeah, and Mary's a good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Yeah, Daisy Dukes. So you got to see that. What did I get to see? Yeah, tight jeans and shit. Like some Daisy. I guess it's universal, no matter where you are. Yeah, those are good times, you know? Those are good times. I'm not being like all reminiscent. Well, I guess I am reminiscing. But yeah, so you went cow tipping. What else do you do in the country? I mean, shit, I would just go, like, what do they go? Noodling now. Noodling. You know, where you reach your friggin' arm in a mud hole in the side of the riverbank and you pull you out a big catfish. Why not? Once it jumps on, you know, you go in there like this in the catfish hole, and then the catfish is like, oh, cool. And they just scarf on your arm and they pull it out. Yeah, it's a back in the day live stream. Why not? I'm just going there. I'm just going there. Those are just good times. Just good times. I mean, we did some dumb shit too. I mean, you know, first exposure to like drinking and whatnot. I mean, I tell the story. To this day, I can't even smell pine sol because the first thing I ever truly got drunk on and hungover. I've only had 2 hangovers in my entire life. And one was about 14, 15. We stole a bottle of freaking gin from my uncle's liquor cabinet. You know, with the key and everything, we got the key and it was a whole freaking Mission Impossible shit. We filled it back up with water and whatnot, and we drank it, and I got sick. Yeah, so that was kind of dumb. What other dumb shit? Like truly dumb shit. Drove around with Frank Zappa in a Plymouth Fury. Seriously, Frank Zappa. You know, met him. Hung out with the Beastie Boys once. Ramones. You know, we were kids. They were like grown-ass people. But back then, it wasn't like weird. Yeah, it was just good times. I can remember good times. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It was just fun. Shout out to all you people who made it through that. And we drank out of hoses. We freaking drank out of hoses. That's why That's why we didn't need the freaking thing over the face, because we drank out of hoses. We drank out of hoses, and if we dropped something on the floor, other than gum, because then you're picking up all this shit off the floor, but if you dropped your, half a yodel on the floor and it wasn't summertime and it all melted, you ate it. Who cares? Well, you know what we have? What do they call that? Immune systems. We have functional, awesome immune systems if you grew up outside of the phone and everyone's spraying down their counter. Okay, chicken, spray the fuck out of your countertop with something, because chicken is a biohazard. Other than that, you don't need to disinfect. That's why people get sick so easy, because they ain't got no immune system no more. Plain and simple. You're drinking from hose and eating shit off the floor. You got a functional immune system. Eat a bug or two. Who cares? Ain't gonna kill you. Well, now it might kill you if you have no immune system. That's why people who drank out of hoses, we sort of made it through the vid. Kind of cool. I remember the first time, I remember the first 420 experience. I ain't really down. Been years and years, but I remember that first experience. I was a little degen back then. How did that go? We was in the park. We was in the park and we were like, oh, let's set a fire. It was cold out, and next thing you know, we made a fire like a friggin' bonfire. Like we were gonna burn something in effigy and whatnot. And then some cops came from the 101st precinct. Well, we did it safe. We weren't like a bunch of dicks about it. It was, we did it in the middle. We made sure there was no trees and whatever. And we just keep them warm, Man, Springfield Park. Man, I remember that. And then I was like, do I want to keep doing that? Except for the fact that to this day, every time I hear the song When the Levee Breaks and Kashmir, from Led Zeppelin, because that's what we was playing. Not that was like in my neighborhood, in part of my neighborhood, you still saw dinosaurs roaming around. There was Tyrannosaurus, there was Brontosaurus, there was Allosaurus, and there was friggin' people who still listen to music from 30 years ago. So we grew up like sort of regressed backwards musically. So when I was a kid, while everyone else was listening to like Nirvana, even though I like Nirvana, and somebody like Van Halen and whatnot, when I was a kid, we still like, you'd go anywhere and you'd still hear like Led Zeppelin, and Black Sabbath and shit like that. Just the way it was. Maybe it was older brothers, people that I still listen to it. And yeah, I remember to this day, I can remember the paranoia of, when 5-0 showed up and they were like, what are you little? I just put this out. I just went put, and I put it out. I still remember the paranoia of, ditching 5-0 because we did that. When I listened to When the Levee Breaks. Alright, we gotta put this back in here. That was hot AF. This is friggin' dangerous. This is like, that's dangerous. I can't believe they let me play with this whole shit. Alright. Speaking of danger. Now. Oh, that was slick. Alright, now we got our ambiance back. Yeah, I remember that. What else did I do? I remember the first time I noticed females. I was in Green Acres Mall, and it was like an awakening. I was just like hanging out, being a stupid kid and whatnot. Next thing you know, I was just like, I remember when it hit me. I was just like, I would love another one.
Perfect. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Good girl. Yeah, I remember when that happened too. I remember like I was just chilling, like minding my own business, thinking about frickin', you know, my G.I. Joes and shit like that. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for it to get warm. I'm gonna use my G.I. Joe with the submarine in the neighbor's pool and I remember the day. How many guys can say they remember the day they woke up to the concept of women? Buster, what is going on? That was awesome meeting you. We'll talk about Bra Nation in a second. But yeah, let's just reminisce. I don't care if I'm giving up my age, but not really. I don't care. I know what my demographic is. People like me. Yeah, I remember that first awakening. And it was, yeah. I remember. I still remember who it was. I don't know the person, but I could still see that. What noticed that I was just like, that's when I changed. That's when everything changed. I still was into the G.I. Joes and all the other shit, but it was kind of cool if you're playing with G.I. Joes when, you know, with some chicks around. I remember that day. I remember that day. If I were to guess how old I was, I would say 10. You know, now kids are getting pregnant and knocking boots at 10, which is gross, but yeah, it had to be like 10, 11, something like that. Yeah, I was in the double digits. All right, let's see what else is going on here. I remember when swimming pools had diving boards. Yeah, no kidding. Diving boards. And you'd do the cannonballs and all the rest of it. Or you'd slip and crack your freaking noggin on the back. Kapow, you know? Yeah, that was fun. All right, let's see who else is here. James, how you doing, by the way? All right, I want to catch up on Misty Mountain Hop. Yeah, and the other one, I should know the name of the song. But the Viking song, what the frick is the name of that? Come from the land of the ice and snow and midnight sun. That's a great song. Great song. Let's see. Yeah, oh my goodness. CB radios. Oh my goodness. I was like, yeah, I was young when, like, super duper young when CB radios came out. Like, every kid, if you had a CB radio from frickin' Radio Shack or like Tandy or Lafayette or whatever, like, you know, they had the single sideband, the SSB ones and whatnot, you know, then you get your own handle. It was like the first, you know, it was like a chat room kind of thing, and you'd stick the antenna out the window and whatnot because you didn't have a car and whatever, but, you know, you'd like chat with people and whatever. Holy cow. Remember that? CB radios, they'd advertise them on TV, you know, 10-4, good buddy. CB radios. Yeah, Kashmir is a great song. Dalai Lama, what is up? Tim, enjoying the flashback to our youth. We'll be in Vegas at the end of the month for a week at Sam's Town. Yeah, that would be awesome. Come on down. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. This one out here, do you want to keep these?
Waste not, want not.
Yep.
Thank you, I appreciate you. I noticed that too. What a name, ain't Gina? 10-4. I don't remember what my handle was. And we used to like share them, and you had to stay off like channel 19 or channel 11 or channel 9 or whatever the hell it was, because that's where 50 was, and yeah. All the stuff. Alright, what would we decide 3 of these were required? Alright, now I'm getting a little like, woo, this coffee's gonna be awesome. Alright, let's put 3 of them in there. Wrist rockets. Do they even have wrist rockets anymore? Freaking wrist rockets. Wrist rockets were good for anything. You find a freaking round rock, M80s. Not that I ever did that. Anything. Itchy balls, you toss them in a wrist rocket. It'll wreck people. That's how we settled scores back in the day. People weren't like looking to friggin' blast each other's whatever's out. You'd either fist the cuff, you'd rumble. You rumble. Hey, there's a rumble on. Friday night, there's a rumble. We were so... New York back in the day, even the 80s, was so stuck in time. Like rumbling was a thing. I've been to rumbles. A rumble. Oh my God. A rumble. Yeah, but that's how we'd settle things. With a good old-fashioned bottle rocket fight, you know? Good old-fashioned itchy ball fight, you know? Shit like that. Now people are stupid. Yeah, we would rumble. You know, and then it was like, you know, we would rumble. You know, and there was like rules. There was rules to it, you know? You don't kick a person when they're down, you know, all that stuff. Warriors, come out and play. That might have had an influence. Yeah, this stuff doesn't work. This stuff is broken. I think I need another one. Shamrock Food. Sounds like it was free. Of course. Oh, shit. Hold everything. I anticipated the lack of goodness here. I anticipated this. Brought my own. Now we're playing with power. Now we're in it. Alright. So you guys still didn't tell me what the popular chick names were in the rural areas. I told you mine, Gina and Maria. And there was a couple of Grace Anns too. Grace Ann. I'm not going to give the last name, but it was like her initials were GAP. Just saying. Grace Ann. Alright. But it was a different time. It was a better time. Going to music shops and whatever. You know? Donna and Kelly. Alright, that makes sense. Donna and Kelly. You had a bunch of Donnas and a bunch of Kellys. Yeah, okay. I can see that. Which Donna? And you know what? There was these twins. There was these identical twins. So identical, if you blinked, they could switch and you'd never know. Can confirm. And one of them's name was Gina. Seriously, one of them's name was Gina. Oh. See, that's real. That's sucralose. I don't know what the fuck this stuff is. Stevia. Yeah, Stevia's lame. Stevia's like, it's like knocking boots with a rubber on. It's like, it's kind of there, but not really. Am I really going there? I went there, sorry. Alright, this is a fun conversation. I wanted to talk about the Pope, but I got all night. I ain't doing nothing for a while. Yeah, I heard about the proposed restaurant. I've been talking about that for a while. I think that would be genius, you know? But see, they'd have to build another dock at the Bellagio, you know, because right now the dock is technically at Prime, the outdoor seating section at Prime, like the nice dock. I'm sure they have other ones or whatever, but yeah, I mean, if they put a restaurant out in the middle, like a greenhouse looking thing, that way you could sit under, and then the waterfalls on the top. I mean, it would have to be strategic. And the other problem that I envision them having is, if you're pretty close to the water cannons, those shits are loud. Those are stupid loud. Kaboom! You know, they might break the glass or your eardrums or something. But yeah, I heard that. Susan, there was a lot of Susans. Picasso restaurant area turned it. Did it? I gotta go and see that. I have to go see that. Still, I like reading your comments. So you had a bunch of Cathys. Kathy's with a K, Kathy's with a C. Hey, you know, me and Kathy's going out this weekend. Which one? The one with the K or the one with the C? No, guys wouldn't say that. Guys would be like, oh, the one with the... Because guys are guys, let's be honest. You mean the one with the... Yeah. Yeah, we talk like that. So do you ladies. So just know. Alright, let me catch up. Missy Vegas. Alright, let's see. I was Jimmy the Challenger on CB Radio. I forgot what my handle was. I forgot what it was. I forgot. I actually saved up all my money and I forgot the name brand of it. You know, went and got the freaking whip antenna and shit. What the hell was the name of the brand? It was a good brand. I don't know, whatever. That's a long time ago. Yeah, pellet guns. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, who didn't have a Crossman 660 or a Daisy 880 back in the day? You know, you put like 10 BBs down the barrel, pump it up to like 20, you know, try to hit moving targets. I mean, that was fun. You know, until someone gets, you know, an eye taken out, but that was fun. That was fun. What do kids do now? Nothing. Jim? Is Jim West here? Jim West. I'm scrolling back. I saw Jim West. Oh, Jim, what's going on, man? I was missing you. I was asking about you. Already planning to get there for the next meetup. Excellent. So let's talk about that real quick. We will circle back to, you know, if you guys remind me to circle back to Cindy Carol Jenner. Jenny. Jenny. What was that song? Jenny, who can... There's a lot of... Yeah, Jennies were big back in the day, even in music. We can circle back to this conversation, or we can continue it another day, but let me just talk about the Bror Nation Get Together 2025 that just passed this week. It was awesome. I loved it. Everyone who came, I want to thank you. I want to show my gratitude and my appreciation for showing up. You know, it's not about me, obviously. It just, you know, my name's attached and I appreciate it. And I was sort of the Pied Piper that started it all, but it's grown into more than that. It's a family now. And seeing family get together and what I consider my extended family it was awesome. It was a special time. I did not get to spend all the time I would have liked to and all the time that I normally would have, like in previous years where, you know, almost every night. However, this upcoming year will be different. Upcoming year. We only have 51 weeks to go to the next one. Cool. But it goes fast. You know, time goes fast. Time is like a toilet paper roll. You know? The more you pull on it, the quicker it starts spinning, you know? So get good ROI on your time. But yeah, next year's gonna be awesome. Next year I think the consensus might be we do a redo on the restaurant. This year we went to the Handsome Cowboy, Galpo Gaucho, and we ate all the meats. It was an experience. It was definitely an experience. We had a lot of fun. They came around to each table and carved everything. There wasn't anything that I felt I was disappointed by. I ate everything. If it was in front of me, I ate it. And, you know, sometimes 2 or 3 or 4. Ate the gold-plated steak, ate the picante, ate all the meats. The only thing I couldn't eat was the pork. It looked so good, but it was breaded, you know. But it was good. The place was nice. The service was excellent. The company was excellent. We went to the Wynn afterwards. Where'd we go after that? I forgot. Went from the Wynn, and then we headed over to, where'd we go? Went to Mandalay. You know, I got to see everyone. I do appreciate it. Like I said, this upcoming year, I do want to do it slightly different because what I felt, okay, this is how we went to Mandalay Bay, correct? What I felt this year, that space, I love the food, I loved everything about it. You know, I think we got a fantastic deal considering the amount of food and the beverage and it was great. But I felt I didn't get a chance to mingle the way I ought to. And that's also a product of the fact that I was very busy work-wise, so I didn't see most of the people the rest of the week, you know? I mean, I came out like little spurts, like an hour here, 2 hours there, after the main event. You know, it's just, I couldn't avoid it. So, yeah, I really didn't get to spend individual quality time the way I would have liked to. And I think we're going to do something about that. I mean, it was partially due to maybe the size of the room or whatnot. But again, that was on me too, because, you know, I wanted to get to see everyone that night because I had a sneaking suspicion I wouldn't be able to make, well, I knew I wasn't going to be able to make all the things. We did a great group pull. That was a lot of fun over at El Cortez. We ate after that. It was just fun. It's great. It's like, you know, it's a family reunion. Like when people ask me, what'd you do this week? I legitimately, with all good conscience and all good faith, I say family reunion. Because it was a family reunion with 30 of my, you know, my dearest, closest family, you know, so that's awesome. And, you know, I want to thank everyone, and I want to especially thank Janice, who did all the organization, and she's doing all the organization. She's already starting for next year. This year I want to have, and not that I want to have, I will have more input. I want to take some of the burden off. This past year has been freaking nuts. You guys know, it's been nuts. This upcoming year, I think there'll be a couple of changes that will make it a little more available for me to participate in certain things, but we shall see. Cross that bridge when we get to it. Missy, great seeing you and hubby. But Janice, you know, Janice did a great job as usual, and I hope you appreciate it. Oh, we went downtown too. Afterward, after El Cortez, we went to the D. Downtown, holy shit, it is so loud downtown now. I mean, it's loud in here now. Can you hear the music? I don't really care. Who cares? You guys got me. But it is so loud downtown. I'm yelling now over this music, but it is so loud you can barely talk to the person next to you these days. I don't know what they're thinking, but it is stupid loud. My nose is itching. What does that mean? Someone's talking about me? What the hell's talking about me? What does that mean when your nose itches? Pollen? Coffee. I'm so glad I brought it. That's crap. Stevia is crap. That's what I came for. That was the good stuff. But like I said, it was a great time. Great time was had it all. Thank you, everyone. I got to meet Buster JC. Buster has been around since I think my first live stream, like my first ever live stream. Never got to meet him until this past event, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, I already considered him a friend. I mean, he's been around as long as I've been around. I consider the dude a friend. And if you're out there, Buster, what up? You know, to meet you was good. To put you know, to actually be in the presence and shake the hand of someone who's been on the other side of a piece of glass, you know, for years is awesome. It was freaking awesome. Oh, and I got a bunch of gifts. That was from Mary. Isn't that cool? That's his boss. You can adjust the size, but I found that I like it big. That's what she said. I like it like that. I like that it hangs down. It reminds me of my old Hungar days. You know, where the thing would crash up against your wrist and harden the back of your hands so you could bitch slap people. But I don't do things like that. Val Marie, thank you for that beautiful wallet. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome, and I look forward to doing it again next year. I'm gonna have a fight if my nose itches. For some reason, I don't doubt that. I think something's a brewing, and I don't care. Did you go shopping yet? Yeah, exactly. Buster, you're my brother too. Did I go shopping yet? expound upon that. So I think I lost track of what we were talking about. Yeah, this it's got the flag and it's got the crosses, and it's just a cross. Like when people have the cross and they still have Jesus hanging on it, it's like, no, the whole thing is that it got off it. Oh, yeah, the envelope and gift card? No, not yet. Not yet. You know what? I did pass Smith's the other day, but I left the card at home, and I was just like, oh yeah, and everyone got together and gave me a generous Smith's gift card so I could buy all the meats. Yeah, no, I left it home. I gotta put it in my pocket or in my wallet or something, or in one of my sling bags, so I don't forget. But that pork butt, I'm talking to Janice, right? And hey, how you doing? This and that, whatever. I'm like, hey Janice, how do you cook a pork butt? I got this freaking enormous pork butt. It was like this big. Like this freaking big. It was giant. And it was $13.44 on sale at Smith's. Smith's, shout out Smith's. It's a pork butt. I'm like, I never cooked a pork butt before. So, and I sliced some pieces off and I made some 1-inch thick steaks and whatever, but it came out awesome. It came out awesome. I lined a pan with some aluminum foil because I hate cleaning. So I lined it with some aluminum foil and I put salt, pepper, cumin, onion powder, and garlic. You gotta put garlic on the pork, right? And a lot of salt. And I freaking jabbed it a bunch of times with an ice pick and I got a meat tenderizer thing, but it's freaking pork butt. So I stabbed it with an ice pick a bunch of times, and I didn't put cloves. And a fork, like one of those a carving fork. I did the whole thing, and then I put it fat side up, because that's the way you're supposed to cook things, with the fat on the top. That way it and it turned like chicharron on the top. I put the thermometer in there. I got the thermometer with the Bluetooth and all that. And I let it get up to 200. And you'd say, oh, that's a lot. But it's a pork butt. I wanted to kill all the pork buttness out of it, because it has the word butt in it. So I figured, let me let it go up to 200. And then as soon as it hit 200, I turned it down after about an hour, hour and a half. But holy cow, was that good. That was good. I still got some of it left, so it's not is good. I mean, the flavor and the way the oil and it went inside all the holes from the fat and everything, and then I basted it a little bit. I was taking it to, doing this, that, and it held on to all that flavoring, and somehow it penetrated in there. I mean, granted, I made like a crust. I wasn't playing games with it, but if you want to know, it came out good. And I think it was like, I don't know why, it was like 79 cents a pound or something for the pork butt. So I was like, score. Mercedes is sweeping up. Stabbed it with the Steely knife. Yeah, I did. I stabbed it with a Steely knife. I ice picked it. I did not. Could you put one of them in a pressure cooker? I don't think it was a pressure cooker big enough. Yeah, we're talking about pork butts. I'm like, hey, pork butt. I'd like to call someone that one day. Hey, pork butt. Oh, you know what happened? All right. I think Janice and Chris, Nat, and Frank knew. All right, so I'm in the elevator at Mandalay Bay, right? So I'm coming down from like the 5th floor. I'm gonna go see Chris, Nat, and Frank. There's a bunch of people. I love you all. Sorry, I'm not gonna quote all the names. And Janice was there too. All right, and my buddy Frank. So I get on the elevator, and it's coming down from the very top. I don't know why they park on the top. There's plenty of whatever. So it's coming down, and there's room for one person. So I get on, an air fryer. That sounds good too. Hey, don't care. So there's room for one person. So I make my way in, and then I turn around. Wouldn't you know, we stopped on the very next floor. And I've been waiting to say this or do this my entire life. So the door opens, and you couldn't fit another person in there with a freaking shoehorn, right? So the door opens, and I go like this. I pick up my foot, and I go, this is Sparta. And everyone cracks up. I didn't know if people would get it. I thought people would just be like, you know, calling security and shit, but everyone just lost their shit. It was funny. The timing of it was perfect because the people, you don't expect like a totally packed, I mean, the way people are now, you know, so narcissistic and rude and shit, they start bum rushing the elevator the minute the doors open, like, oh, you mean people might actually be trying to get off? You ever do that? It's like a crunch, like a, you know, like a subway, like a train in frickin' Pakistan and whatnot. You know, it's just like, yeah. But it was just so perfect timing because that throng of people waiting to walk in were coming, and I knew I wasn't gonna kick one of them in the gut, but it was just perfect. Like I extended my leg past the frickin' door and everything. The people outside started rolling. They thought it was hilarious, and it was a couple of chicks with, you know, with kind of, you know, like dresses from frickin' Marshalls and whatnot, you know, some $10 dresses from Ross and whatever. Looking alright. Girls can get away with wearing a $10 dress. Guys can't. Well, if you have pronouns, you probably could. Anyway. Okay, so they start cracking up. The people inside the elevator were like, it was just hysterical. And I was just like, I've been waiting my whole life for that. Some of you might not even get what that is. This is Sparta from 300, where he kicks a dude down the frickin' well and whatnot. This is Sparta. It was funny. It was funny. I've been waiting forever to do that, and I finally did it. I've always wanted to say range me, and I've been able to do that several times. I've always wanted to say this is Sparta, and there's a couple other things. Oh, I've always wanted to say engage, too. Engage. I've never gotten... one of these days, I gotta squeak and engage in there. Sneak and engage. Engage. They're getting ready to close. This coffee is good. This coffee is good. It's good stuffs. All the good stuffs. Vaughn. Cool. Thank you, bro. I just poked down and Vaughn. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And Thomas, I do appreciate that too. I like that lately, you know, sometimes it takes like Venmo and Cash App like a week to send a notification. I feel bad by the time I get them. Like, just people gonna think I'm lame. But you guys, yeah. All right, let me restart my chat. Do we gotta talk about the Pope tonight? We should do scooter races. Alright, I'll just quickly, because I went into my whole thing about my experience with growing up Catholic and whatnot last time we got together. Wasn't fun. Wasn't fun. It was, you know, it was a bunch of frickin' reprobates torturing children. That was my experience with the Catholic Church. I got tortured as a kid. Hey, kneel on these pencils because you spoke in class. And let me beat you with a stick. Yeah, that sounds godly. I'm going back in time. Instapot rules. I have an Instapot brand. How you doing? I have an Instapot brand milk frother, which is pretty freaking awesome too. Seeing what Captain America and the elevator gets first. Yeah, I saw that too. All right, what do we got? Okay, I'll briefly go over the Pope because I know that it's a contentious thing and people got pissed off last time. Because I said that the Pope possibly worships Satan. Because to me, the idea that people are like, oh, he's the embodiment of God in human form. Fuck that. That's sacrilegious. I mean, but let's not go there. Let's keep it light. We have a new Pope. And the Pope's from America. I've heard two conflicting stories so far. I heard he's just like the Pope who kicked the bucket and went to meet his maker. And that he's all along the same vein as like, you know, you shouldn't have borders, except if you're me, you know, the whole bit. Like he's anti-American, even though he's an American, like so far freaking left, you know? I heard that. I haven't determined, I haven't looked at him yet. And then on the flip side of that, everyone's like, oh, this is the best thing ever because, you know, he's gonna clean up the Vatican. The Vatican needs some cleaning up. There's some shady shit going on up in there. You know, besides all the gold plates and friggin' drinking out of gold goblets and all the other weird tunnels. Wherever there's tunnels, there's shit going on. They got tunnels. They got a wall, you know, the whole stuff. So supposedly he's supposed to clean it up. I don't know. The jury's out. I got to think about it. But that whole he's God in the flesh. No, that was called Jesus. Not some freaking guy who gets elected and some smoke comes up a fucking chimney. Let's just stop with that nonsense. But some say he's going to be the same as this one. Other people say he's going to revolutionize things and clean up the Vatican. He's going to doge out the Vatican, which I doubt, but how do you doge the Vatican? We'll see. The jury's out. We'll figure it out. I like Leo, though. Leo's a cool name. What up, Leo? What up, Leo? Let's see how many people I lost. Marie Bella. It was awesome meeting you too. Marie Bella showed up, and that was absolutely friggin' amazing. Let's see, we got a couple of amens. Vaughn is in the house. Alright, cool. So, I'll get off the Pope thing, because I haven't really figured out how I feel about him yet, because I got to do some research. But regardless, how you doing, man? I don't believe. No one should believe in the fact that any human being is a representative. If it ain't in the Bible, like the word nun doesn't appear in the Bible, that should tell you a lot. The word Pope doesn't appear in the Bible. You know, just be careful. Just be careful where you put your frickin' beliefs. But, like I said, some people say he's the joint. I found out one of my neighbors died in a car accident like a week ago. I was like, wow, they've been quiet. Forgive me, but yeah. Yeah, that's sad. Do you know that this town is getting so dangerous to drive in? Somewhere between 3 and 8 people a day get unalived in car accidents here. It's that most of them, that they say over 50% are DWI related. But yeah, to find out that's so sad. That's so sad. I mean, you know, people go, they go. You know, when my time comes, my time comes. But I don't want to go through a windshield, you know, because of some drunk ass running a red light. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock today. So, I mean, I'm sure it's everywhere, but be careful. Definitely be careful out there. You know, maybe it's everywhere, but Vegas is such a dangerous place to drive. Hey, Mark 1, what's going on? Mark 1 can attest to that. Isn't Vegas dangerous? So one of my neighbors died in a freaking car wreck. And how did I find out? Because I saw some strangers heading into his place, and me being me, I'm like, what are you doing here? You know? I'm looking out. We look out for each other. I'm like, what are you doing here? And then it's, I'm with the kids. Pops died and whatever, and whatever. That's sad. And they're already putting a house up for sale. The guy ain't barely freaking room temperature yet, and they're putting a house up for sale. Imagine that. It's a week ago. And there's already, like, I saw a photographer going in there taking pictures with a Matter camera, which does the 3D shit. I'm like, oh, you couldn't wait? You couldn't friggin' wait a day, Whatever. So yeah, be careful driving, but driving in Vegas is a grip. All right, what else do we got to talk about? Let me see what you guys are talking about real quick. Yeah, it was sad. Every day there's like 5 or 6 or 7 crashes. I mean, one way, people like going the wrong way. I don't know how people end up going the wrong way, but see, here's the thing. Everyone's like, oh my God, Trump is such an asshole. He wants to make sure everyone reads English in order to be, have a truck that's CDL license. What an asshole, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, let's just think about this for a second. Number one, it's already a law. For all the people who are peeing their pants about it, it's already a law. So get over it. Number two, I personally believe, and I think, logic would dictate that if someone's hauling in trucks or just driving in general, you want them to be able to read the signs. Granted, if you go to Miami, you get to see, the signs are bilingual. Most other places in the United States, including here in Vegas, it's English. So if you cannot read English, how do you fucking drive? How do you drive? But, you just such TDS that whatever he says, you got to do the opposite. So you're in favor of putting your family at risk, letting people drive giant trucks who can't read English to determine signs. So how are they getting around? Think about this for a second. How are they getting around? The only other way they can navigate is if they're on Google Maps in whatever foreign tongue they speak. So that means they're distracted as well. So they're freaking distracted driving because they got to check their maps because they can't read the freaking signs. Do you want those people running over your family? Everyone's like, oh my God, oh, he's ruining America. Well, that's derangement syndrome, where you can't, your mind, not yours, but people's minds can't even see the good. Like I always say, if Trump cured cancer, they would say, there'd be people out there that say, he's taken away the rights from terminally ill people. I mean, that's a derangement. You don't, tell me you don't want people not to, it's already a law. The fact that he's making an issue of it is besides the point. He must know something, like, hey, a lot of these frickin', in Vegas, wrong way accidents are a big deal. People driving the wrong way on our highways and byways and interstates. It's a big deal here. 2 to 3, 4 people a day die from wrong way accidents. Like, they just drive up the off-ramp and drive in the wrong direction. So even if one life, well, not all of them, I'm sure all of them could read, if it saves one life, it's worth enforcing, because one life is precious. It's someone's mother, daughter, whatever. Oh, it's mostly locals. It's mostly locals, like, doing stupid shit. So that's how I feel about it. If it saves one life, that one life is absolutely worth it. So I don't care. Yeah, if you can't read the signs, don't drive. How did they pass a test? They give it in another language, and they're just like, okay, take this 18-wheeler that weighs 18 tons and just pull it down America's freaking freeways at 65 miles an hour. Have fun with that. Just stop. Just stop with the derangement. Think logically, I don't want people who can't read English driving the wrong way. Some of them probably don't even have a license, which is true too, but, then they should arrest whoever hired them. Make them culpable for that bullshit. But driving is dangerous. I mean, the big thing here in Vegas, you can barely talk to an Uber driver these days. Here in Vegas, I don't know about other places, but here in Vegas, the past 10, 15, maybe 20 Ubers I've had to take either for business or whatever, they didn't speak English. They did not, they were just like, trying to talk, and they're just like, no hablo, or, whatever. I don't know how to say no hablo inglés in Somali or Ethiopian or whatever. I don't know. But I guess I should learn, because this is my country. I have to accommodate everyone and learn their language. They don't have to learn mine. So, yeah, I mean, that's a thing. Like, we're like, hey, we can stop here, stop here. And they're just like, no. And because they don't understand. Then we're like, I did talk to a couple of them, and they're like, this is what we do. One person leases the vehicle, And then like the whole family drives it 24 hours a day. You know, they just take turns, everyone. So yeah, that's what a lot of what goes on. But yeah, I mean, I'm tired of reading the papers about people getting off, and it just hit so close to home because I knew this guy, I knew this human being. You know, I mean, it wasn't like we were buddies. I don't know his name. You know, I don't even know his name, but it was just like, you know, when I take the garbage out, be like, what up? You know? So I knew of him. He was friendly. We were like, hey, what up? But he's dead from driving. Yeah, that's messed up. And the family's already selling his joint off, you know? It's like, damn, I'm gonna have some new neighbors soon. Anyway, yeah, so be careful, even in your own neck of the woods. Let me see if there's something else. I'm sure there's something else I want to get into. Besides, yeah, I got dead neighbor. You don't believe me? Dead neighbor. The Pope. Oh, I was going to talk about Wynn talking about how tariffs are keeping them from doing a $200 million renovation. I called bullshit on it. There's a bunch of Vegas news we'll cover during another live stream. So I think I'm going to start doing 2 a week. So we can get like more into newsy type, Vegas-y type shit. Which segues into the next thing I want to talk about. Which is, a couple people are asking me, yeah, lawyer billboards in this town are nuts. You know, hey, did you get run over by an Uber? Dial this number. Which segues into people asking me if I'm gonna go do the whole walking on the strip thing. The answer to that is no. I walked on the strip. I did strip walking. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to, like, the next time I do a live stream, if it's, you know, a little darker, or maybe next week coming up, because it's only supposed to be in the 70s, maybe the 80s, not a freaking 100 degrees. They are making progress next door at the Mirage. And it'd be fun to go and look over there. Yeah, Dead Neighbor. That does sound like a good Stephen King. It would be cool to go and see that. Nothing. That's funny. It would be cool to go see that, but thing is, I mean, it's 100 degrees, and it's May, you know, and we know what's going to happen. It's going to be 115. I just can't. It's not like I'm not. I'm just can't, because I value my health. You know, number one, it's not healthy being out there in the sun and that heat. What is it? Why did guys go, woo? Let me try. Woo! I think that was my first woo. You witnessed it live. Woo-hoo! No, that's kind of woo. That's kind of also. Anyway, but that's okay. I don't care. It's just not it's not how I roll. If you roll like that, you're cool. I love you. But what are we talking about? Walking outside in the heat. Ain't doing it. Ain't go. I did it for 5 years. This summer would be 5 years, or I've walked in 110. If it rains, that's a different story. If it rains, I like walking out in the rain. It's been raining the past couple of days. I'm telling you. I mean, I did everything but take some shampoo and shit and like wash it. If it was like a downpour, I would have taken a shower. Oh, going back to that, we were talking about what we used to do with the kids, as kids. Did any of you ever take a shower in the rain? Like legitimately a shower, like soaked your hair and the whole bit as a kid and stood out in the rain and showered. I did when we were kids, you know, not like on a street corner or anything, not in a fire hydrant, but when we were kids, you know, we'd go out to Graham's and Queens and whatnot. We had the tomatoes and all this other, and the downpour. It was the most fun thing ever. That electric smell in the air. And the rain and the thunder, and you're washing your hair with some Irish Spring or whatever they had back then. It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, we weren't naked neither. I mean, let's just be real. You'd wash the chlorine from the pool, because my neighbors had a big-ass pool. Her neighbors had a big-ass pool. Anyway, getting back to walking on the strip. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I mean, I'm not totally ruling it out. But please, you gotta understand, you know, you want me healthy, right? You don't want me dying in the street. You don't want me getting some skin things from the frickin' sun. You don't want me... Yeah, okay, look at this. Want to see something? Let me show you something. Want to see something? Here you go. Look at that. Look at that big spike. You know what that spike was? Me walking outside. Look at my resting heartbeat, which is a thing of beauty, 55. Just standing outside. I didn't even do much walking. Tweaking out at 134 beats per minute. Not that that's terrible. I can go to 160, 180, but come on, flip around. I just don't wanna. You know? I as much as I love you guys and I love doing stuff, that doesn't mean we won't go out. Like, I'm not gonna sit here forever. You know, I got places in Bellagio, I got places in Aria, I got spots and whatnot, but you know, with my poker head out. But it's summer. It's summer, you know, and it's brutal. It's friggin' brutal. 99 degrees. The sun is broken. Ever since that damn eclipse a couple months ago, I could swear the sun's broken. If you notice the sun, it's not white anymore. It's not yellow anymore. It's white. Am I right or am I wrong? When do you remember the sun? Thank you, Marie. Marie Bella. When do you remember the sun being white? It's white hot. You cannot look near the sun. Remember they said, oh, don't stare into the sun. They used to tell us when we was kids. You can't even look remotely in the direction of the sun anymore. It's a white orb. I think they replaced the sun with some freaking, you know, because we're on a flat earth. You know, maybe they had to change the bulb or something. Now it's LED. It used to be incandescent. You know, maybe it has something to do with Antarctica. Who knows? Because, you know, the earth's flat. But anyway. And lizards live underneath it. Anyway. The sun's broken. They replaced it. Some scammy thing happened. The sun ain't the sun anymore. The sun, as long as I can remember, up until a couple months ago, was yellow, and you can look at it. Even in the morning, you look at it, you close your eyes, and you're drinking all that healthy vitamin D. Don't take vitamin D. But I'm not a doctor. If you want to jack up your body, go ahead. Get your vitamin D from the sun. And you'd be able to stare at it. You can't even do that in the morning. I see you out there, son. With your eyes closed, it's like piercing. The sun is freaking broken. The sun is absolutely freaking broken. Oh, they replaced it. The lizard people replaced it or something. Yeah. So, I don't want to go out in the friggin' lizard people's sun. The lizard people, they can do it because they're cold-blooded, so they need that sun. Maybe that's why they're coming out from the hollow earth, you know, to the surface. And they're cold-blooded, so maybe they need like you ever have a tank with a lizard in it and they gotta put the bulb in there? Maybe that's what we live in now. So yeah. Sun's broken. And I ain't going out. Like today, it didn't even hit 100, and I'm just like, what the absolute F? Because of the sun. You go in the shade, it was alright. The sun hits you, it's like, you feel like tingles. Like fire ants are crawling all over you. It's freaking broken. It's busted. It's busted. Alright. Elon's investigating a big umbrella device. Cool. Maybe I'm joking, maybe I'm not. What, you don't believe in lizard people? Coming from the center of the earth? You haven't heard? Yeah. Should I say it? They come up. Should I say it that they come up through the Vatican, or is that too extreme? No. Forget about that. I love reading you guys' comments. Yeah, I think my health is. Yeah, I appreciate you guys understanding that. You know, that health is more important. We'll have fun. I mean, if this isn't entertaining enough, you know, I can go on tangents about anything. You know, if I get, you know, if I'm properly caffeinated. Let's see, what are we talking about? During the aftermath of the hurricane in Florida, we would jump in the pool and get wet in the shampoo. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that's fun, but it was fun. Yeah, rain when it's hot out is glorious. I mean, I stood out in the rain the other day, and I just dug it. I was just like, it was cool. It was nice. The next day you pay the price because it's like humidity, which doesn't exist in Vegas, but it was like kind of humid and whatnot. The next morning you pay the price, but it wasn't like a downpour. It was just a nice steady rain for like a half an hour. It's just like, and that's what I was thinking about when we was kids. We used to squirt dish soap on the trampoline when it rained, says Brian. Good times when you're little. Oh yeah, and you'd like slip and go, you know. Man, I see them videos of the people on the trampolines, or the animals. Like you see Doggo on the trampoline, jumping up and down, having fun. Yeah, Zuckerberg. You know what I was gonna say, right? No, okay, I'll blink it out. If you know Morse code. Yeah, there's stories that he might have visited Center Earth. Anyway, it's 38 degrees. It was 38 degrees this morning. Wow. Praying mantises. Praying mantises are cool. Yeah, you got lizards down there. There's no lizards out here. We're in the freaking desert. I've yet to see a lizard. I've seen a freaking lounge lizard, and I've seen some of the lizard people from Center Earth, but I've never seen a lizard. I've never seen a scorpion, too. Like some guy got bitten in the nads by a scorpion, and was it Paris or something? I've never seen a scorpion here. I don't want them. That's with the UV light, you know? Supposedly with the UV light, on the O-light, you can see scorpions and whatnot. But I've never seen one. I'm good. I haven't charged this thing in like 2 months, and I use it every freaking day. It's a killer battery on it. Anyway, but I saw a wolf spider in my house. I don't know what he's doing there. Freaking wolf spider. They're fast. I mean, like faster than a fly. And he was looking at me like. He was like, come on. He was like, come on. What up? You know, he's being all like friggin' wolfy and shit. He like had a furry face and looking at me and shit. Maybe it was a lizard. I don't know. Lizard people. But I remember when I lived in Florida, what were they calling things? Anoles, anoles, or whatever. They were green and they were brown. They didn't get that big, but they was everywhere. They were everywhere. But now, what do you got? Iguanas down there. Iguanas wreck more shit than squirrels and all the rest of that. You could legally, this whole channel's on YouTube about people who do pest control. You're legally allowed 24/7, 365 to whack iguanas. I mean, some of them iguanas are huge, like tip nose to tail to like 3-4 feet. You know, it takes like, you know, you gotta hit them square in the freaking in the brain and whatnot. But some of them are huge, and an iguana will wreck your yard. It burrows into all the canals and causes, you know, what do you call them? The walls. There's a name for it. It's a technical name. I'll think of it. It causes them to collapse. They do a lot of damage. They get into your house, and if you ever have one tail whip you, like a whip, it'll mess you up. And they got like razor blades on it, but they're cool to look at. And yeah, like seawall. Yeah, it'll wreck your seawall. Abso-friggin-lutely. It'll burrow into it. It will wreck you, but they're cool. They look like dinosaurs. They're cool. They look like lizard people. Kinda. But lizard people don't walk on 2 legs. And then they turn like into humans. You know, there's a whole thing going on. But it's like they live with Roddy Rowdy Piper, yeah. Alright, so you're allowed to like ping those, and people go out and spend like 3-4K on like a FX Air, you know what, Air Pew Pew, and with, you know, like $800 scopes and whatnot, and they go to the canals and just pop them off one after another. But they taste good. They taste like chicken. So I've heard. But they're good. They're meaty. They're delicious. So they don't go to waste. Alright, what else we gotta talk about? Direct flights to Cincinnati. Oh, they got bright green frogs. Oh, those, yeah, they're an invasive species for sure. Because people buy them and then they release them, you know? Like, you'll see, like, in lakes, this goldfish because people dump their fish in there. In some cases, in warmer lakes, there's piranha, too. Yeah, geckos. Geckos is a thing. I had a gecko. It was like it used to bark and whatnot. I went through this, like, lizard phase. Like, once I moved out for the first time, because my mother wasn't down with me exploring my freaking boyhood, you know, I went and got, like, I got a monitor lizard, I got a tegu, I got a couple of geckos, yeah, all sorts of stuff. I had an albino python, a couple of red-tailed boas. But after a while, you know, it's like, you gotta clean them damn things. So you release it into the wild. And wherever it goes, it goes. Do fireflies still exist? I haven't seen fireflies in forever. Yeah, do fireflies, like when you're a kid, you used to put them in a jar and, you know, make them firefly? Are fireflies still a thing? I don't know. Are you getting ready to close?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just doing my creek.
Alright. Thanks. Was she asking me for help? Nope. Yeah, there are still fireflies out there. Oh, I'm getting what the heck is this? I'm getting a commercial. What are these cats doing? What's this dude doing? What, they got school? What is this commercial for? He's on a boat, doing stuff, brushing their teeth. What is this? What are they doing? Oh, the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps, I get it. The Peace Corps. Cool. Wow. Your son's gecko? It was 15 years old? The tegu lizard and the monitor lizard, I used to have to feed him mice. And then I had this bright idea. Instead of going out and running and buying frozen mice and live mice, I like decided to raise the mice. And then the mice, they'd knock boots and they'd make baby mice and then they'd eat them. I'm like, whoa, slow down. So you used to have to separate them. So yeah, they're nasty. They eat themselves. You have them in Michigan too? I did not know. I mean, I haven't seen them since back in dirt bomb days. Going back to the dirt bomb conversation. No kidding. Alright, let's see what else you guys are talking about. This is all, I mean, invasive species. You know sparrows, cute little freaking house sparrows? They're an invasive species. Stick them in a jar, stick them in like a Hellman's mayonnaise jar like when we was kids. Ship them on over. I'll play with some fireflies. Yeah. Grackles, those black little like starlings and grackles, those are invasive species. You can smack them all day long. In England, fun fact, in England, the gray squirrel is an invasive species, and you're allowed to whack them things wholesale. This whole channel is about that too. They're an invasive species because they breed faster and they're bigger and stronger than the indigenous red squirrel, and they're kind of cool. But squirrels are just kind of a rat anyway. You wore winter clothes today, Val-Marie. You threw them away? Yeah, yeah, I see you. Yeah, he said catch them fireflies in a jar and torture the little buggers, but I wouldn't say torture them. I mean, not as bad as the Catholic school tortured me when I was a kid. You think I have a little resentment? I don't need therapy, but I do resent the crap out of her. Sister Mary Rosella. She was a sadistic individual. But they all were. They all were. Every single one of them. Anyway, what time is it? 8 o'clock. Holy cow. Perfect timing. Alright, people. Leave in the comments too. I want to do one other night. Welts on a butt for sure. I mean, Sister Mary Rosella used to peel the rubber off of ping pong paddles. I remember she beat John DeVito so bad with a ping pong paddle that it snapped. Like the ping pong paddle that she pulled the freaking rubber off, she used to beat everyone with. It snapped. You know, she broke it over him. She went out and got another one. Or she bought a set of 4 or something. Because we were like, oh, thank God, she can't beat us anymore, the sadistic witch. But she had more. Like the next day, she showed up with another ping pong paddle. You know what she did? Because she was so sadistic, she peeled the rubber off the ping pong paddle in front of the class to show us that she's really going to hurt us. That's how sadistic she was. How you doing? Thank you, Mark. Yep, at 26K. I never magnified anything. I never magnify, boop. I've set paper on fire. You know, they have them cookers now where you point it towards the sun and it has a grill and it can boil water. Same concept. All right, Tom, I'll be talking to you. Drive safe, brother. Yeah, but I don't, they were all in that venue. I mean, when they used to round us up, they would, they put us in like the gym or the cafeteria in the Catholic school I went to was like in the basement. So you were trapped down there with these sadistic people and the priest would come down there. And you talk about fire and brimstone. He's like, we were little kids and they were like, hey, if you touch your pee-pee, you're going straight to hell and you will burn. That's how they would talk. I mean, granted, I'd rather be talked to like that than, like nowadays in schools, they talk about how to do butt stuff, to kids, which I think is, they should burn in hell, the people are doing that. But this was the opposite, but it was weird, it was weird. Yeah, and they would put the fear of God into you, but, it was bad at the same time because by the time we were like 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 from the Catholic school, we were thinking? I shit you not. We were thinking, hey, guess what, guys? We'd talk and we'd be like, we're all going to hell anyway. We're all going to hell anyway, so what does it matter what we do at this point? So there was a couple of years of like, who gives a shit? Because we were indoctrinated with if you do this, if you do that, if you curse, if you do all the things that were venial and white and all the bullshit of the Catholic Church, we all thought we were going to hell. So we felt like we got nothing to lose. We got absolutely nothing to lose whatsoever, so might as well just, do whatever the hell we want. I think a lot of people think that to this day. The farther they stray from, godly things, they're just like, fuck it, who cares? But that's what that fire and brimstone did. It was just like, meh. All right, let's see. Good night, Venus. All right, people. I think, let me check fan fundalization because I don't want to miss anyone's super chat. Let me see. Marianne, thank you for the 10. Venus and Jim, thank you for the 10. And Stephen J, great seeing you and your wife, as usual, for the 10 as well. I do appreciate that. That will help cover some parking this evening. And also leave in the comments, especially if you're watching this after the fact, or you know what I'll do? I'll do this. I'll sign off, but I'll leave it go for a while so the chat continues. What other day, if I decided to do 2 days a week, what other day would be good and approximately what time. I mean, I can't promise, but just a consensus to see where you guys are at. What's up, Alex? So let me know. Sister Lawrence Karate. Hi, Karate. All right, people. I'm going to jet. I love you guys. Had fun. I always have fun talking with you guys. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I love you. And on that, oh, don't forget, if you haven't already, like, wow, I'm like out of it. I'm not on top of my intro, outro game. I'm going to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least maybe 2 times a week. And I love you guys. And on that note,